Right, Oj, welcome to episode 69, and before we really get into the meat and potatoes of this show, we got to address an issue and clear the air with some bad information we got last week.
Well, we touched on it a little bit last week because it was live, but I don't think there's, the more I thought about this, I think this goes directly back to, you know, the whole effort by Bucks and Booze podcast to sabotage us. I don't think there's any other way to look at it.
We're back to the bourbon episode.
Well, you get, you know, Brother George roofies us in Studio 2, right? I mean,
Yep.
you told the same story for 2 weeks in a row, and so that was all on him. And then you come back last week, and you got his younger brother throwing false info at us live as we're on the air. So I don't know. I think it's a obvious effort of Bucks and Booze podcast to sabotage us, trying to get a spike in the ratings. I don't know what other way to look at it.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, I mean, they are not the hottest podcast in the key run. They definitely are second fiddle to us, but oh yeah, that's unfortunate. You know, I used to like those guys.
It was I don't know. You had more people call back or text, get in touch with
Oh,
me.
I had a number of people
Straighten you out after the whole Ellie Fronte ordeal, right?
Yeah, so if anyone listening did not listen to this last week, we had mentioned that there's a gal, Allie Franti, who was a stud athlete, played at Penn State, and was with the U.S. Women's Olympic team, was the daughter of Gordy Franti, and the information that we received, and Jeff did correct it, all kidding aside, did correct it. Allie is the daughter of Dan Franti.
Yeah. And we got a hold of Josh too during the week because, you know, obviously big family and stuff. But it was still pretty cool. I mean, she was at Penn State, and obviously a girl that was on the roster at one point or close to being on the roster, whatever circumstances were that got her off, you know. But she's plays in a professional league somewhere now.
I believe so.
So,
and I thought she ended up as an alternate to the team. And then she is not playing on there, but was part of the training and all that. So the information is Allie Franti is Dan Franti's daughter. Dan's an 85 Cal grad, so it's still the same local ties. We just had the wrong Franti. And I'm still going to stand by, I was scared to death batting against Gordy Franti as a young kid. But that information, you know, and again, thanks to the people that set us straight there. I had a lot of people right away. Sunday and Monday morning, and got that squared away.
And again, thanks for the Bucks and Booze podcast to set us crooked.
Yeah, we got to be careful with them, eh?
You gotta watch them.
You know, and a side note with that, another tie, which is kind of funny because we had our volleyball rules, which has obviously irritated a lot of volleyball people. Got another tie here in that Parker Mickish, son of Jeffrey Mickish, was working with the Olympic team all summer right up to the Olympics as well.
Yeah, and you had mentioned that. I had no clue. Was he a Hancock grad?
No, it is not. His father obviously is, and Parker is currently an assistant coach at University of North Carolina.
Really?
But yeah, I actually saw Jeffrey. He was one of the people that straightened me out Sunday too. I saw him Sunday, and his son Parker was part of that whole process leading up to it as well. So a lot of volleyball ties in the Copper Country.
Excellent. What else we got going today?
Well, we're in studio. Is this studio 1A or 1B? I keep forgetting.
We got the deck.
Yeah, we're in the garage today. So this must be A. Studio called Studio 1A. Anyway.
Very comfy garage it is.
Well.
Hey, how was breakfast this morning, by the way?
Fantastic. Had a little breakfast with Johnny Crow's brisket poutine scramble.
Sounds shitty to me.
No, it was
I've never eaten that. Brisket? We're having brisket later.
Yeah, that's another story. Yeah, just preparing. Yeah, it was fantastic. Miners Cafe this morning. Got to catch up with Coach Crows, and fantastic. You been watching the Olympics, Oj?
A little more now than we had talked last week.
I know we got an Olympic topic coming up later in some of our questions that might rub us the wrong way, but
I've had it on, and now as things get a little more serious with, you know, the finals, not the prelims and whatnot, it's been interesting. I haven't watched a lot of basketball, so I see we have a basketball question coming up. I don't really have much of an answer for that, but the track and field started yesterday, or I believe yesterday. Most of it was, or it might have been Friday. So I watched a little bit of that, but I think and then of course the gymnastics, it's always amazing. You know, Simone Biles just
in a different world.
wow. And her, what is this, her third Olympic? So that's impressive, and I've enjoyed that little, I can't even think of his name now, the nerdy guy with the glasses that's kind of made, you know, he's been all over the news and all in the media talking about what he's done on the horse, and so that's been pretty cool. But I think the most impressive thing I've watched here was Katie Ledecky in the 1500 meter swimming. Did you see that at all?
I have not. I watched some of the gymnastics. I watched a little bit of, I think I saw some track and field last night at the end, but the only thing that we've had on is I think my wife's watched a lot of the swimming. I saw a little bit. I really haven't watched TV. I really have not. But I know she's been awesome.
I've never seen anything like her dominance. You know, she's up there now, obviously with Michael Phelps and what she's done as far as decorated Olympian for us. But that 1500 meter, I don't get how somebody can be that much better than the others in that race.
Is this one she won by like 7 or 8 seconds?
You couldn't even see the other people on the screen. She was so far ahead. She was making the turn.
Wrong age group? Was she competing against little leaguers?
It was unreal. You could, like I said, you could not see at one point the last, maybe the second to last stretch. You could not see the other people. Katie Ledecky, Beth, unreal. We're getting a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yeah, she doesn't want to be on there.
But yeah, you can't even.
For the
You
record,
couldn't see the other.
For the record, that's the gal that rode the bike down 4th Street with me. Anyway.
Yeah, so that was been impressive. I've enjoyed that. My dad keeps me posted on this stuff because he watches all of it. But yeah, I mean it's fun. And I think now it'll be getting into boxing this week a little bit. Our men's the women's boxing.
We're not even going there. I just found out about this literally last night, and that is unbelievable to me. And
well, I don't understand so this girl. All right, we're not going to go there a little bit.
So
she was banned from, but they didn't disclose what type of issue it was. Her and this girl from China, I believe, were banned from this other boxing federation that no longer exists, and yet somehow now she's in the Olympics, so she was cleared to play here. But she's also lost like 9 times. Who the hell is beating her?
I don't know.
And not just once, so I don't.
Yugoslavia and Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, I don't know. That's craziness, and I have no idea what the whole story is in that. But anyway, track and field will be happening up this week. Katie Ledecky won the 800 meter freestyle, I believe, yesterday too, which was some other amazing feat for her. So yeah, it's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
And really, if you look back in the last few Olympics, you know, I think the one thing that has changed is how much people watch swimming. I mean, we've had some amazing people, you know, with Michael Phelps and Katie Ledecky. I mean, the only thing I remember from swimming back in the day, and it wasn't really swimming, was diving, was when Greg Louganis whacked his head off the diving board.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I was trying to think back the other day about great moments in swimming or diving or whatever it is, pool sports. And
you remember Phelps, though, right?
Yeah, no, I remember Michael Phelps and Katie Ledecky, but I'd be like, as we were younger,
Yeah.
the only thing I remember with a pool was Greg Louganis when he hit his head off the diving board.
Well, the swimming stuff is amazing to me. I mean, at 1,500 meters, can you imagine the endurance for that?
You couldn't swim 15.
The doggy paddle across this garage would be tough. I did beat Mike Stieber on spring break once, though. He challenged me, kind of got a little, a little cocky, and went after me with a doggy paddle across this pool. You do not take on people that can't swim in a doggy paddling race. Yeah. Mike Stieber got what was coming to him that afternoon.
And then you defeated him again this year.
I did. I forgot about that.
You're undefeated against him.
He hasn't conquered me once in any water sport.
And you really shouldn't even be in the water.
I forgot about that. 2-0 against Stebbs. 1 in the ocean, 1 in the pool.
Here's a question for you, Oj, with your lack of swimming. If you go on a boat ride, do you wear a life jacket?
Depends on the boat.
You're going out on Lake Superior fishing with...
Kayak, I stay within probably 20 yards of the shore. Sometimes I I probably should have them, but I don't always have them in the kayak. If we're gonna get a little more crazy and get out there, I'll certainly have one on. Crouchy's boat, I will not wear one.
Oh, really?
No. But I'll know where they are.
Yeah, 'cause
My eye is always on them.
yeah, for those of you who don't know, Oj swims like a rock.
Damn good doggy paddler though, Stebbs.
Anyway, let's move on to this. As part of last week, we brought this up with when Jeff had brought up the Ali Franti topic about great parent-child combos, and we said we'll kind of start working through this. And you had mentioned like Foster Wonders and with his parents, Matt and Julie, all fantastic players. Have you come up with any other ones this week for us, Oj?
Nope.
You haven't?
Well, no, the one I thought of just locally, I thought of it, and going back to the ETC crew again, but to me it was the obvious one to bring up there, and that would be Gary Forrest and, well, you can bring up any of his sons really.
Oh,
but,
boys.
Kelsey played at Tech, so that would be, that'd be the one to bring up, I guess, if you're gonna mention any of them. So I thought of that because you got Gary's an all-time league scorer at Lake Superior State, and his son played at Michigan Tech, so that was an obvious one to me. What else you got?
I went through this and I got a couple good ones, and there's an obvious one that's that we're fairly close with. How about our friends the Solani family?
Yeah, that's good too.
There's one. Richard played at Michigan State. His oldest son Jason played at Northern. Middle son Christopher, who I'm very close with, also played at Michigan State. And then the youngest boy Eric, he played at Central.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All four of them. How about the Body family?
Yeah, Fred's UP Sports Hall of Famer.
He is. Scott had a good career at Michigan Tech. Then I don't know if we have all
and
the
he leads the Florida retirement community in batting average.
I know he was
2 straight years.
He was supposed to play with us in a game a couple weeks ago, but before he had
leading off and playing shortstop. Number 5, Scott Body.
Are these ones that are just athletes coaches? Because
the way I look, yeah, I mean that's the thing. You want to branch into the coaching part.
Because the other one that kind of jumped out at me was the Hofers. You had Ken Hofer at Menominee and Chris at Kingsford.
Yeah, that's from the coaching side. We can go there. There's a whole other deal. I mean, if you want to just do the coaching part.
I
was looking at it from playing side.
How about the Wilsons?
Christian and
Fritz? Didn't Fritz play college basketball?
No clue.
Yeah. So that's one that I think we could kind of plug away with as we keep progressing through here. That there's a lot of first families and talented, and I think we should probably just go athletic prowess, don't you think? Because the coaching thing I think is a little bit different.
Yeah, let's stay with that.
Okay. And then we got a communication from our friend up from the shores of the Menominee River this week. Did you see what's going on in Kingsford?
As far as the upgrade to the football field?
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned it a while back. Where are they at with that? What is going on? I guess I don't even know what they're doing exactly.
Yeah, so they're going to replace the track and the playing surface and get it all up to date and make it an even better facility. They're calling it the Legacy Project, and basically it's being through donations. And they're selling. You can buy the end zones. You can buy yard markers. You can buy corner kicks. I got the things that you can buy here. You can make donations. You can buy the ends, and I think a lot of this is already taken care of. I think they have had a very great contributions so far. So you can buy an end zone, and there must be like a plaque. I remember we did this in Lake Linden when we replaced the field years ago. And there'll be a plaque, and it'll say Mike Oj on that end zone. And so you can buy an end zone, you can buy a sideline, a goal post, the 50-yard line. You can buy a track lane.
Mike Ojala in the end zone at Lake Linden.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think that happened.
Yeah, a corner kick, hash mark, yard lines. So you can make some donations, and then I believe they're going to have a big banner thing indicating that. And as I got talking with our friend David W. from the shores of the Menominee River, it'll be interesting to see who steps up there. I have heard our faithful listener, Mr. Anthony Santi, has already made a donation, already contributed. You know, I wonder if we're going to get some of our other faithful listeners, like maybe this Nelson Wenke, maybe in the Wenke family, which we're going to get into here in a little bit as well. But there's a fundraiser going on. Check it out on Kingsford's website. And obviously, it's a great facility already.
Oh yeah, cool stuff. I mean, that whole track, I mean, that's been the host of the UP finals now for
A long time.
I mean, right? We were probably one of the last crew at Marquette.
Yeah.
Like, you know, right after that, I would guess. So.
Did you know that when I was a senior at the UP finals, we got snowed out at Marquette? You ever hear that story?
Really?
There was a blizzard.
In June.
Yeah, there was an absolute blizzard. It was miserable. Yeah, good times.
No clue.
So anyway, take a look at that Kingsford fundraiser. It's a great facility, you know, and great people. You got a superintendent down there pushing it. You know, obviously, we know Hartman, the AD, is big with it, and that strong football community, athletic community in Kingsford. So get out there and open up those checkbooks. I got something that's just been absolutely, like, this should be in your segment of what pisses Oj off.
Burning your ass a little.
Oh my God. Why in the world does the bridge go up at 8 a.m.?
The bridge washed down, and I can't swim, and my baby's on the other side. Mortar Mac. Anyway, go ahead.
So I was going up to Holden the other morning, and lo and behold, at 5 minutes to 8, the bridge is going up.
When should they do it?
Well,
5 minutes to 7? Earlier. Is that what you're saying? Like 8 o'clock?
10:30 in the morning.
Commuting time?
10:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock at night. Not 5 o'clock or 8 a.m. That was ridiculous.
How long were you stuck there?
It was like 15, 20 minutes. I got there right at the beginning.
Oh boy, that rage.
That just grinds my craw. But anyway, yeah, so put that in your notes for that new segment of yours that we're creating.
Copper Country Sauna is the premier sauna builder in the Keweenaw, led by two brothers-in-law that share a passion for saunas and want to provide custom saunas to the Copper Country residents. When you are ready to throw some water on the rocks, visit our website at coppercountrysauna.com or give us a call at 906-281-9427. How was that for 8:30 in the morning?
You did a heck of a job, Oj. You are doing, I guess you really got that brothers-in-law thing down now. Big time. Well, we're going to do something a little bit different for Crouchy's Corner here today, Oj. We don't have an interview, but man, I sure wish we did. You know, this is one that there's a person that would have been fantastic to talk to, and one of my favorite all-time storytellers, legendary. And we're going to do a little chat today, I guess, because he's no longer with us, about Russ Laurin.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Coach Laurin was a figure in Lake Linden athletics, Lake Linden sports for forever, and longtime assistant to Ron Warner and the football team, involved in multiple sports over the years. You know, I got to know him pretty well just from coaching and being around you and other Lake Linden people. Of course, lived in the apartments with my dad for a while. My dad went up to Calumet. Those guys knew each other from Northern. Yeah, and you know, he had some health issues, and the local community lost a legend there a while back. So you were able to get involved a little bit yesterday with his celebration of life, and fill us in a little on that.
So, for those, I mean, and most people know Russ. I mean, if you drive through Lake Linden, it says Russ Laurin Fieldhouse. Russ had passed away this past winter. You know, as per his request in classic Russ fashion, didn't want to do anything. So had a small ceremony yesterday to bury his ashes at the cemetery. And the family had reached out to me to ask if I would give the eulogy, which I was honored to do. So we put Russ in the ground yesterday. He's somebody that obviously had a big impact on myself and thousands of other people in our community. He was a teacher at Lake Linden. He came to Lake Linden in 1962. 1962, and then he finally stepped away from coaching in 2014. Now, he had a little hiatus where he had retired. So Russ came in 1962 to Lake Linden. He was at one point the head football coach. He was the head football coach before Ron. He was the head basketball coach, and he was really, as the head coach, he made his hay as the track coach at Lake Linden for over 30 years. And, you know, and even when he wasn't a head coach or even coaching, he was still at every single event that Lake Linden was participating in. He taught at Lake Linden from 62 to 88, so I never really had him in school. He had gotten out by then, but he was still coaching. He retired from coaching, and I think after the 95 season, and Russ was a big outdoorsman. I think he wanted to go out west and do
Fishing, right?
hunting.
You do a lot of fishing too?
Fishing and hunting, and he did that. And then in about, I'm going to say 2003, 2000, it was early, somewhere in the early 2000s, I was able to coax him to come back and be an assistant coach with our JV and just be around the program, and he was there till 2014, you know, and just, his accomplishments are amazing. I mean, he coached track for 30 years and probably won 20 conference titles and things like that, but he was really the yin to the yang with Ron during the heyday of our program, and again, I was coached by him. I played JV basketball as a freshman. He was my basketball coach. He obviously was a football coach all the way through, and then track coach. So, and then working with him, and his accomplishments are uncanny. He's in the State Football Coaches Hall of Fame, like we had talked about how Crows got in last year.
Mm-hmm.
He is in the Lake Linden Hall of Fame. He went in with that inaugural class, and I had nominated him for the UP Hall of Fame years back, and didn't get a very positive response from them. So I'd love to see him get inducted in there. You know, he's been legendary for that. You know, and his accomplishments are one thing, but just the personality and the stories are uncanny. I mean, and part of the reason, I guess we should, when we started doing interviews last year, if you remember, one of the reasons why we started talking to people was because this is when Russ had fallen on some hard times with, I always said that if Russ ever had some memory loss issues, it's that the world would suffer, because his memory was sharp as a tack, and his health started to deteriorate after the pandemic, had some dementia issues, and this is really why we started thinking, you know, all these people that we know we should start talking to.
Yeah, kind of, when you and I first started BSing about doing something like this, I think that had a lot to do with it, because it was, you know, you lose those guys and those different characters that have been important to us and other people in sports and local communities and stuff like that for years. So, you know, I always got a kick out of the fact that whether it was you or whoever I know from Lake Linden, whenever Russ's name would come up with a group, each of you would have your own little Russisms or whatever. These guys could mimic him, you know, do his voice and the way he would handle a certain situation, or some of the lines that he had said over the years. So that was always funny as hell, and you know, just a lot of respect from everybody in certainly the Lake Linden sports community and copper country, you know, for Russ Laurin. So.
And the stories are unbelievable. We could literally sit and tell Russ stories from now until forever. And you know, after the ceremony yesterday, you know, there were a lot of people sharing.
Was it just pretty much his family there?
It was. There was a few people that, other than his family, Ron and Kathy came up. You know, a couple other in the area, but it was very, very small. Which you know, and I appreciate the fact that Russ wanted to keep it small. But God dang it, Russ, you impacted a lot of lives. You know, and I guess I was thinking about, and again, I did the eulogy for it. Everyone said it went well. I was hoping I didn't, you know, offend people. I had told a couple of Russ stories. I even did the voice one time.
You did the voice?
I did, because I told the story about when I was, the biggest ass chewing I ever got from Russ wasn't in sports. It was when we were at must have been at a clinic or somewhere coming back, and we sat down to order breakfast, and I ordered orange juice, and he goes, "No, you don't order orange juice, it's the biggest ripoff." You know, so, but I think one of my favorite ones is, if you know Russ, like you're not very technologically advanced, Oj, but obviously Russ is a little bit behind that even, and this was years ago. We were still living in the other house, and the kids were small. That's when he was living in the apartments with your dad.
Yeah.
And it's about 7:15 in the morning, and my cell phone goes off, and it says Russ Laurin. So I answer it, I'm like, hello, and all I can hear is heavy breathing. all I can hear is everybody like, oh no, Russ is in trouble. So I'm trying to yell into the phone and yell into the phone, and I hang up and I'm trying to call back, and then finally, I hop in my car and I book down to the apartments and got to get let in, and I'm pounding on his door and I'm trying to call him, and there's just nothing. So I think fearing the worst, right? And finally, we were like on the verge of calling 911. I had just got a hold of the manager of the apartments. We're going to get into the apartment. I fully anticipated seeing Russ laying on the floor having a heart attack or something like that. He was trying to call me for help. And I'm just panicking. We're getting ready to call 911, and all of a sudden, he calls back, Russ Laurin. And I'm like, Russ, where are you? He goes, I'm on my way to Rapid River. I'm going hunting with Urkla. And I told him, I said, well, you called me and you were breathing heavy. I thought you were dying. He goes, oh, you passed the test. So, but we could tell stories about Russ for forever and ever. You know, so sad to see, but obviously he created impacted a lot of lives. And, you know, if you knew Russ, you know what we're talking about. So, you know, so rest in peace, Coach Laurin.
Good stuff.
At Swallow PC, our dedicated team of lawyers serves clients in various areas of law, personal injury, family law, criminal defense, and business and real estate law. We offer exceptional legal representation and strive for our clients' most favorable outcomes. Contact us for a consultation at 906-774-2480. And we're going to hit the mailbag, Oj, and I think we got a good week of questions here because there's a couple people absent from our list. I think you know who we're talking about, hey?
And they weren't even suspended. Hey, speaking of technology, how about you want a little update on the tickets?
Wow, absolutely. Because if you have them, this is really going to probably make my life easier.
So we went, the latest was the Dwight tickets, trying to get them into the wallet, right? Everybody says you got to have them in your Apple wallet.
Oh, just having his hands up in quotation
See what I'm
marks right
saying?
now. Oh yeah, I understand. That's where I put my boarding
Jesse
passes.
from Appleton, he's big into this wallet thing, right?
I always put my boarding passes when we're flying there.
Sarah Stieber, huge into the wallet thing. Got to get him in his wallet. Well, they wouldn't go. And I tried over and over, they wouldn't go. So I make a phone call to, I just let it be.
You didn't call Apple, did you?
No, I let the Dwight tickets be, wherever they were.
In the cyber world.
Yeah. And then I called, had a nice little chat with a fine young lady from StubHub. Told her about my other two issues, which is the Brewer tickets and Charlie Crockett. So we go around and around, and of course this issue started because I ordered as a guest on StubHub. So apparently if you do that, you are screwed. So we worked our way through with passwords and secret codes and everything else, and I'm writing all this shit down to try to save these passwords and codes that I have. And we get to the point where all of a sudden she sends an email, boom, 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 there they are. I got the Brewer tickets.
Are they in your wallet?
No, just listen though. She says, you can, because I said, well, where do I want to access these. I don't want to have to go through this when it's crunch time, you know, when I'm walking in. I want to be able to just nail these babies and get right into this game. So she says to order the MLB app. I order the MLB app, put it up, got that on my phone. I go into the phone, or into my app, and lo and behold, what pops up? My Brewer tickets. How they got in there, I have no idea. But they magically appeared in this MLB app that I have. So now I got the Brewer tickets. So then I go back and I'm messing around with the wallet again, and I do try to get the Dwight tickets into this wallet. All of a sudden, bingo, they go. Uh-oh, Andy just spewed coffee on the floor. Yeah, so they showed up. Somehow, miraculously,
in the wallet.
The Dwight tickets are now in the wallet.
Do you know how to find the wallet app on your phone?
It's on there. Yeah, I've seen it. So I guess this means like if there's no Wi-Fi or something, that I'll always have these babies. I don't know. So the Dwight tickets are in the wallet. The Brewer tickets are in the MLB app that I have on my phone. Now the only thing I'm waiting for is, because these, the Charlie Crockett deal was sold by a third party, whatever it is. Now I gotta wait a week before the concert. I gotta trust I'm getting.
I gotta not drink that coffee anymore.
A week before the concert, I'm supposed to get some email with those tickets. So we're two for three right now.
So the Brewer tickets, are they gonna try to get into the wallet, or are you just gonna trust the app?
I don't need them in the wallet. I got them in the app.
Well, what if the app doesn't work? Maybe you should screenshot the barcodes.
I'm not even showing you that. It's gonna bring up negative.
Well, this is big. This is a big day right here. I gotta be honest. This could be a whole show.
Yeah, so I want to thank that lady, whoever she was.
She's probably listening.
That works at StubHub. If you're out there somewhere, appreciate helping me out and getting me straightened out with these tickets.
Should we do a hashtag or a shout out or whatever we do to StubHub?
I'm not doing it to StubHub. Screw them. Just because I'm a guest, they got to screw me like that. This lady helped me out, and that's where we're leaving it. Remember the old days, though? Nice little ticket would come in the mail or whatever.
You know what we do? And this has nothing to do with yours, but we get hockey tickets, season tickets at Tech.
Mm-hmm.
We actually get the printed ones.
They still do that for Tech VIP too for football.
Yeah, but we know you can get everything. They will obviously want to go digital, but for some reason the people that we get them with and us, I can like them because if we're not going to use them, like if I wanted to give you our hockey tickets, we're not going to use. It'd be way easier to give you some physical tickets.
Yes. I think that's the point of this whole damn story. So.
All right, let's hit the mailbag. And like I said, we got a couple people absent, and just for the record, they are not suspended. They just didn't get their question in time. So we got a new one today, and this is actually a great one. This is actually going to be a great topic here. It says, to the great and powerful Crouchy and Oj.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to write in today to hopefully bring some positivity back to the letters from the listeners. As a displaced Youper living in the Twin Cities, I love hearing about all the great things going on there. As I was telling Coach Crouch at the MTU football golf outing, my old man is officially hanging up the referee's whistle after 30 years of being an MHSAA official. As a kid, he would always bring myself or one of my brothers along with him to go watch the games, matches, and tournaments that he was officiating all over the UP. Looking back at it now, watching those high schoolers and their coaches as a young, impressionable kid really instilled the love of sports in our lives. I wanted to thank all the coaches that let my dad bring his kids along to stand by on the sidelines and sometimes even be the ball boy. In honor of his retirement, I'd like to ask each of you to share either a fond memory of an official that you may have or give a shout out to one of your favorite officials. They usually don't get any praise for an often thankless job, but I know from firsthand experience that a lot of them take great pride in what they do, try to do the best they can for everyone. All the best from MSP, Husky Fliv fan. So, and I guess we're kind of getting a little nostalgic here today as far as why we started interviews. And one of the first topics that we brought up at the beginning of this, when we started this podcast, was we wanted to promote officiating. Mm-hmm. Right? We've had a couple officials on. We almost had one of the best interviews, but the cyber world got us on that one too. But so right off the bat, the referee in question here, not in question, the one being notified, impacted here is Hans Wenke. Right? He's been an official for 30 years. And I know him well. I know his crew very well. One of my favorite crews. I know how much that crew enjoys working Lake Linden games. See, we always had a different setup because those Saturday afternoon games gave you that opportunity to have a little fifth quarter action on Saturday. Hans Wenke and his crew with Hoagie and the Laughlins and Guyan and all those guys. I don't want to leave anyone out. One of my favorite crews. They always did a fantastic job of officiating. They did a great job trying to work with the kids, and just a fun bunch of guys to hang out afterwards and talk sports and have a couple beers. Yeah,
those guys. You obviously in the head coaching side of football for years. Crozy wouldn't let me say a peep to an official on the football side of it, but I always just liked those officials that would work the sidelines in front of us, you know, especially thinking of the home games, you know, that would, well, we had, you know, Joe Strong and John Gravier, that crew, I've known them for years, but we're good enough to be able to have a conversation, give you a heads up a little bit if number 58 was starting to line up a little too close to the line of scrimmage, gonna get an offside penalty, maybe so-and-so was I don't know, if he was getting a little handsy on the holding penalties and stuff like that, so just having the respect to be able to talk to you a little bit about that without throwing those flags out instantly. I thought, you know, that was always cool, and I remember Joe for that. Number of guys in basketball too, and I'm sure I wasn't the easiest guy to deal with as far as officiating basketball games, but certainly respected all the officials around here. I mean, it's a thankless job, but knowing guys that would had enough respect, just come and talk to you during the game. You know, when you had if you asked them correctly without being a total jackwagon,
That's a great term.
Come over and discuss a situation. So, yeah, it is a good question. And we probably don't talk about it enough, really.
No,
you know, officiating and how difficult it is to find officials. And his dad, how many years did he do it?
30 years.
Yeah, so it's like I said, those guys that do that and girls, yeah, I could never be an official. I don't have the personality for it, so.
And I'll take the other side of it. You know, I did it when I was in college, and you know, when my playing days came to an end, that was a way to get back into the game. And I worked with the Gravier, Joe Strong, Eugene Fisher crew for a few years, and then with Nubby Matson and his dad for the other years that I did it. And I think I always go back and say I think it gave me great perspective as a coach, because when you're the young guy out there too, you're officiating, you have no idea what you're doing, and you're always worried about getting yelled at. And I always appreciated how I was treated. I can't remember a conflict with coaches when I was an official, probably because I was hiding at middle linebacker as the umpire or something like that. But great people, you know Hans Wenke and his crew. They would come up and do at least one of our games every year, Saturday game in Lakeland, and I know they lost money because they would go from there, and they would, you know, spend some time down the Legion eating and drinking and just being part of it. They always had a great interaction with our community. Like when that crew was in the Legion after the game, a lot of people talking to them, and such a positive thing. And sometimes those guys stayed a little longer. They always had a driver though. There's always a guy that drove, but I always loved that crew. And even as a matter of fact, when I got done coaching, it's a little different fifth quarter atmosphere these days. Somebody even asked, "Hey, we got this crew coming up. Do you think you could go down to the Legion? We got to keep these guys coming. Want to keep them." And they knew how much like that was a part of it. So, you know, congratulations to Hans. Big fan of him. And then, you know, as far as a couple of officiating stories, I got a couple cool ones, and I think you'll love them. And this one just actually happened 2 weeks ago. I was up at the golf course, and we're getting ready to golf, and Gary Scully comes up to me. Gary and Coca-Cola, his dad, Bob, was a legendary official.
Yeah, Mike Mackey brought him up a number of times. John Barra also.
Yes.
Some older interviews that we've had.
Legendary. And we just lost him this past winter as well. You know, and again, same much like what we talked with Russ, he had some, you know, his mind started to go. So we lost a great official there, but 2 weeks ago, Gary Scully sees me in the golf course. He goes, "Hey, Crouchy, I got to tell you a funny story." He goes, "You know, when my dad was passing and he was kind of out of it and on meds and stuff, one of the last things he told me before we had to put him into the hospice or whatever, how he had said that, he goes, 'Gary, get ready. We got to get down to that Lake Linden football party. We got to get down to that Lake Linden football party,' because the same thing with that crew with Mac and Vara and those guys always would hang out with us afterwards, and it was always positive, right? It was always positive. They always wanted to be around it, you know. So even in his dying days, that was something that he remembered, and I appreciate that. And then the other one, and you'll love this one. This goes back to when I was coaching JV basketball, and White Pine was still operational. Is it White Pine, or it might even been a couple times in Waters Meet, but we'd be playing a game, and the late great Pete Rigoni, right, favorite, and And Pete was a huge football fan, like loved football, loved the quick pitch. He always talked about the quick pitch, and we'd be playing this JV basketball game, and two rotten teams playing, and not one ball player on the floor. And Pete would be walking down the floor, he'd be going down the floor, he'd stop in front of my bench while plays go on. He goes, "That 23, he's an old guard, isn't he? He plays guard out there. I can see him getting out there on that quick pitch, you know." And he'd always be scouting our rotten JV basketball team and telling me where he thought they were playing on a football field.
Yeah.
So, you know, those
He
times.
was a character. Pete Woodoni was a hell of a guy. I mean,
Yeah.
He coached football at ETC too when we had the consolidation. He helped out with us. And great guy. My dad always tells a story too about roughing with Pete. I don't know where it was. I'm trying to think. It was one of those gyms that had the raised scores table. You know, he didn't have it on the floor. It was, you know, such a, and you come in the wintertime and there was like stamp sand that's on the on the sidelines as you come in, just from people walking in from outside. And there was a quick change of possession near half court, and my dad said all of a sudden Pete was gone. His feet hit that stamp sand. He just slid and went right underneath that scores table. Totally disappeared. And I don't know where that gym was. Probably up here somewhere, or else it'd be stamp sand, right? But whatever gym had that. So yeah, it was
Probably the community center or the Dolly gym or.
mentioning. Yeah, could have been over there. Mentioning. Chassel could have been it. But Pete Woodoni, that's one of the stories I've heard of him over the years. So.
And really, we really should get some more guys that were officiating on here and talk with those guys. And it's a point of concern because all these people we're talking about are getting up there in age, and it doesn't appear as if there's a lot of people replenishing the officiating, and it's going to be tough. I know right now it's tough to schedule games because, you know, the shortage of officials.
Yeah. Well, and it's like I said, for whatever reason. Well, not whatever reason. We know why. You know, it's. The officials that do it, they don't do it for the pay. You know, it's nice to get a little paycheck on the side, do something that you like, but I mean, it's to keep yourself. You know, a lot of them do it to stay in the game, like you said, right? To be involved in sports and athletics that you grew up loving. So some of these people do it, but we don't have the young ones doing it. And you know, there's Cask and Flag and Dwayne's son. He's another one. He's working his way up big time in baseball officiating.
Yeah.
And you know, so you get people like that are into it, and you just wish there was a way that the state high school athletic associations could make that more appealing to people, because you just got to have more officials. These guys that we're talking about, a lot of them are still doing it. You know, I mean, Brits and Rimpola, those guys, Roy and Brian Rimple have been doing games since we were in high school, and they're still going, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, and I guess I'm gonna jump up on top of the soapbox again, because I think what you alluded to is there's one obvious reason why people aren't doing it, right? Go to any game and you listen to the idiots in the crowd, and they are idiots. Like you said, these officials don't care who wins the game.
Yeah.
You know, and if you think they do, then you're even a bigger idiot. Get off the officials. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to challenge your administrations. Here's what I think needs to happen. Because you go to a game, and if the kids are saying derogatory things, the school steps in and stops it. You got to start kicking parents out. You got to kick them out. You have to make examples of them, because you know as well as I do, if you're riding rimps and you're yelling derogatory things at them, and I'm just sitting there, now I'm going to start doing it. Right? It's that chain reaction. And the level of intelligence of the things that people yell at refs is ridiculous.
The frustration level builds up with the crew, you know, in the stands, and it just boils over. And next thing you know, you got, and a lot of times too, right? I mean, it's parents for sure, but you know, I think for the most part, the coaches do it the right way.
Yes.
You know, you could talk to a number of refs of certain coaches that might cross the line a little bit here and there, but I think for the most part, it's not the coaches that bother these officials. It's like you said, it's the parents, the fans in the stands that are just constantly, you know, berating these people, and so I don't know. You hope things get get better with that. You hope that we get a little youth movement in there and get people involved because we certainly need it. And yeah, I don't know, we've been.
But you know as well as I do, I'm going to keep going on this now that you got me all cranked up, is that if you get a section that's riding the officials and there's nothing done to them, other people will do it. If you make examples of them and kick them out, it might stop other people from doing it. And again, it's not the answer, it's not 100% the answer, but our gym is a tough place to officiate in, right? It's small, everybody's on top of you, plus you got the balcony. And one of the people we're talking about today had his fair share of yelling at officials, but I think you got to get off them because you're not going to get these people like we're talking about, like Hans Wenke, Bripsy, and Rimps that are doing it forever. And part of it is you got to have a thick skin too. Like it's like anything in life. You're going to make mistakes as an official. We make mistakes as coaches and just being people. You got to move on. But yeah. Anyway, I guess I'll climb off the soapbox here. But congratulations and thanks for sending in the question. What did he call himself? Flip fan. I hope Flip fan is opening up that checkbook and donating to that Kingsford football field.
What else we got?
Well, we got Jesse from Appleton. He says he's a huge Shane Burker fan, not an Ed fan. Did we have a picture of them wearing a similar outfits at a concert?
They go back a few hundred years, those two.
Anyway, trust me, Oj, this question will take a lot less time. Do you think the NBA should adopt the FIBA basketball rules? The rest of the world plays by those rules, and when it comes time to play, the USA basketball experts complain about adapting the rules. The game ball, international play, etc. Thoughts? I had no idea they didn't play by this. I knew, doesn't the lane get a little bit wider? Is it the lane a little bit goofier?
I think so, yeah. Honestly, if you ask me to name 3 different rules, I have no clue. I've been watching these games. What is he saying? The basketball? The game ball? What's different about that?
Is it a red, white? It's like the Globetrotter ball? I don't know. Do they use a different ball? Is it a left-handed basketball?
I've never paid any attention to this. What rules?
I have no idea. I think that I guess I'll just say this. Until
And I've never heard people complaining. Wait, he's watching this stuff a lot closer than us.
Yeah, IPAs.
Unreal.
Yeah, I think until, obviously the gap from the United States to other parts of the world, it has closed, right? You see that by the NBA draft and who's playing there, but until the NBA falls off the top, I say, whatever.
They can do their own thing.
Thanks.
I want to know what these rules are. I honestly don't know.
You're just encouraging him to send a dissertation next week? That'll be fun, a little beer. All right, let's move on. And this one's not really a question, but it says, this is Maureen from Chassel. I haven't heard from her in a long time. Thoughts on the French pole vaulter? I got to be honest. I had no idea. I had a couple people send me links to this yesterday, and it's funny, but it's heartbreaking at the same time.
Yeah. Why do you have the French pole vaulter? Oh, Jesus, yeah, so the video popped up, as that, you had sent it yesterday, I think Jesse from Appleton was involved in this too, right?
Yeah, he's the one that sent it first.
Oh, this poor pole vaulter, yeah,
I better not drink this coffee right now.
Everything looked so good in the vault up until a certain point.
Oh, this rubs me the wrong way, Oj.
It just, yeah, I don't know if I feel comfortable going any farther than where I'm at right now.
Well,
he knocked the bar down. He didn't get a successful vault.
Did the pole hit it?
Well, yeah. Like I said, I'm not real comfortable discussing this any farther.
This kind of goes back to the sauna bench story with the twig and berries.
Oh yeah, there you go. The old twig hit the pole, knocked her off.
Yeah. And we joke about this, the pole vaulter, and he was in contention for medaling, I believe, from what I've read, and he did medal because...
Has he had any comments on this?
I have no idea. I'm guessing there'll be some marketing opportunities.
Holy moly.
Remember when they used to have like Hanes underwear commercials? I'm guessing he'll be in there. But
yeah,
he knocked the bar off with his male parts, and the video has gone viral. And again, we joke about this a little bit, but the reality is, it is kind of heartbreaking. because you train your whole life for this, and he was in contention and didn't medal. And
Well, you gotta, I mean, do these pole vaulters, like, is there jock straps anymore? Or, I mean, you gotta do something to give the family a home.
yeah,
In an event like this, I don't get it.
I don't know, and I know for sure we are not linking this up to any of our social media.
The video?
Yeah, but should check it out. It's like I said, we're chuckling about it. I feel horribly for this guy that this happened to, but
Wow.
yeah.
Thank you, Maureen. Good to hear from you again.
Absolutely. Located 8 miles south of Lake Linden on the Boojak Road, the Dreamland Restaurant is your choice for great dining, family owned and operated for over 100 years. Whether you're in the mood for Mexican Monday specials, burgers, pizza, or Friday fish fry, Dreamland is your next stop. Want to hit a little listen to the lyrics today, Oj?
Alrighty.
Let me give a little listen to the lyrics, just kind of twist here. Yesterday at the memorial service, okay, we did the thing. I went up and said some words about Russ, and then they were going to do a military honor because he was in the service. So the military was there, going to do the 21-gun salute and stuff. And between my eulogy and the military service, they brought out a big speaker and they played Russ's favorite song, which was a twangy song by Boxcar Willie. So we all listened to that.
He was a Boxcar Willie fan.
He was an old country west. He loved all those guys.
Boxcar, he did all other people's stuff. He was kind of a novelty act, I guess. But
Yeah, well.
anyway, Listen to the Lyrics is brought to you by Keweenaw Auto Body, located on Pine Street in Calumet. They're your choice for quality collision and body repair since 1966. They are open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday and 8 to 12 on Saturday. Give them a call at 906-337-1203. So we are back with a little Graham Parsons talk this week. Graham was the originator, the first person that had the vision of what we know today as country rock. After David Crosby left the Byrds, Parsons stepped in and talked Roger McGuinn and the rest of the group into doing an album that is to this day recognized as the first country rock album ever. The Byrds' album Sweetheart of the Rodeo was released in 1968. Graham Parsons' signature song was a 3-verse, no-chorus song that describes memories of a childhood he never really had and also touches on his self-destructive lifestyle. I started out younger at most everything, all the riches and pleasures, what else could life bring? That is vintage Graham Parsons, so enjoy the Byrds' Hickory Wind.
Perfect. Great song, Oj. Great song. That's going to wrap up this episode. We got some big news we got to share. We're going to be on a little summer break here for the next 2 weeks. So
well earned.
Yeah, between my schedule cranking up here and you, now that you have the tickets, you're going to be traveling all over. We will not have episodes the next 2 weeks. We'll be back that last week of August, and that'll bring us right into football season.
Yeah, we're like 30 plus days away, I think, from the start of the NFL season. College football right there too. So obviously your time is going to be elsewhere here the next few days, where you're spending your time with tech starting up. So yeah, looking forward to taking the next 2 off, but we'll have plenty to get discussed here after we get back, because I can't wait to get into the football stuff and back probably with wager talk too.
Oh yeah, you get that cranked up. We have done, even though we're going to be out for the next couple weeks, we've been grinding. Hey, we've been grinding the last few weeks. This past week, we got some good interviews with people in the hopper that we'll share as we get into the end of August and through September. And we'll be back. Like I said, I'm looking forward to football season on pretty much every single level. And I guess that's all that's going to be. Anything else to add today, Oj?
Not that I can think of. I'm going to go back and start moving coaches again. So that's what I got on my Sunday.
Brisket party today?
Brisket, we gotta, make sure we mention that. Usually we talk about it afterwards, but we won't be here for 2 more weeks, so we are gonna be out at Big Travers later this afternoon for the Texas Tom and Jenny Brisket Festival.
It's a festival?
It's a festival.
And do we have to bring our own canned koozies, or are they providing them?
No pole vaulting.
Yeah. See you, Oj.
Talk to you later, Crouchy.